One of these two individuals is homeless, and chances are it's not the person that you're thinking of.
Rhea struggles to pay $375 a week just for that extended stay room, working a patchwork of part-time jobs like driving for Uber.
I think what was so shocking is that this kind of living situation is not cheaper than an apartment. It's often double or even triple what an apartment down the street would cost.
How do you explain that?
When people are desperate and those who own these properties know that there are people who are desperate, they will take advantage of that desperation.
If America is such a great and rich country, why do you have so many homeless? Why is it you can work a 40-hour work week and still be homeless? I can tell you this. In Russia, if you work a 40-hour job, you will not be homeless, you will not be hungry, you will not need for health care, and you'll have education. You'll be able to go to college, you get free health care, and you'll have a home, and you'll have food. And you'll still have a little bit of money left over for things even if you have a low-end job. So you'll be able to do some things depending on the job you have. And I've said this before, somebody working McDonald's in Russia versus somebody working McDonald's in the United States, they'll have a better life in Russia. Now, on the very high end, it could depend, there's all sorts of factors, but in most jobs, you can do better here. You have no education debt. You don't have medical debt. You don't have to pay gobs for health insurance. And the taxes are lower, too. Before all you ignorant people chime in, no, it's not communist. It hasn't been communist since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. So if America's so great, why do you have so many homeless people, many of whom are working 40-hour full-time jobs? Why are people losing their houses when they get sick? I mean, why do you think Luigi's so popular? He's onto something, and that's just one aspect. That's just the healthcare aspect.
That's absolutely crazy. It sounds like the American dream has become the Russian reality. Maybe that's why it's called the American dream and not the American goal.
Let me let y'all in on a little secret about homeless people. For those that don't know, I've been homeless since I was 17 and I've traveled around a lot. One of the biggest things people just don't understand about homeless people is that the homeless people you see when you go to the grocery store or the gas station aren't the average homeless person. That's just the really loud, overrepresented portion of homeless people. A lot of homeless people do work, whether it's multiple jobs, a temp job, off-the-book jobs, part-time work. A lot of them actually do work. I mean, can you personally imagine being homeless and working multiple jobs? And the kind of things people want to say to you is, get a job or work harder. People in general just don't have any idea what being homeless is actually like. The general perception of homeless people is that they must be some kind of caveman or something. Let me tell you, if you have not experienced personally poverty in its most crushing format with no safety nets, you just don't know what's going on. And you shouldn't be making these wide, very narrow-minded assumptions about homeless people, whether you see them on the street or you don't. It's really good to keep in mind that homeless people are people. Whether they're in a tent on Main Street and extremely dirty and acting weird, they're still people. That's for another video. These videos are always trying to start up a conversation, so please let me know what you think, and have a good day. I was cleaning the fretboard of my banjo, by the way.
I don't have a job, I don't have a home, and I couldn't take care of my dog anymore.
And you just lost your job.
And I worked all my life to have nothing. I don't have anything. And I worked all my life. I started as paper boy. I shovel sidewalks, I rake leaves, and here I am now, 40 going on 48. And I have nothing.
Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but it seems to me like we have a broken social contract. Minimum wage was designed to be a living wage. It was supposed to provide you with a roof over your head, transportation, and enough to feed yourself if you worked a full-time job. That was the purpose of having a minimum wage. In recent times, minimum wage have not kept up with inflation. You can work 2 full-time minimum wage jobs and still not have enough to be guaranteed a roof over your head. You can still be sleeping under a bridge in the wealthiest nation on the face of the earth. Now, once again, I'm no mathematician. Like I said before, I have a master's degree from the University of North Florida, but in the words of the president, you see what I look like? It was probably a DEI degree. So you take that for whatever, whatever it means to you. But I never would have thought that people in Russia were doing better than the average American. I never would have thought people in China will be doing better than the average American. But normally when I think of a homeless individual, I think of a drug addict, someone suffering from mental illness, or a lazy individual. More and more recently, the face of homelessness has changed. It looks more like you or I. We are all just one phone call away from becoming that man on the corner holding up a sign, despite how many hours we work or how hard we work. This is Stephanie, the single mother of a 6-year-old son. Stephanie has recently left an abusive marriage. Because her husband was the primary breadwinner, Stephanie can no longer afford to feed herself nor put a roof over her head despite working 40 hours weekly. Stephanie currently earns $7.75, a little over Georgia's state minimum. She brings home a little over $200 weekly. That's after paying federal, state income tax, and paying for her mandatory health insurance. Stephanie resides in Macon, Georgia, where the average one-bedroom apartment goes for $1,100 monthly. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that with her earning only $200 weekly, approximately $800 monthly, she doesn't earn enough to keep a roof over her head. Unlike the majority of her co-workers, after work, Stephanie does not go into a warm apartment or house. No, instead she picks her son up from school and they sleep in a vehicle in the richest nation in the world. Despite what we would like to think, the situation is a lot more common than most people realize in the United States. The working poor. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Listen, if you find this content the least bit entertaining, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you don't like the content, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. Regardless to what, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And until next time, y'all wish y'all nothing but peace and prosperity. Yo.